Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stefanie Drysdale's weekly cybersecurity recap, number 25 for Friday, June 26, 2020. Ms. Stephanie, welcome back.
Thank you, Chuck. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Let's hope we have some happier Fridays going forward. As we speak every week, when we started this 25 weeks ago, who would have thought we'd be speaking about the things we speak about today? It's quite remarkable, and I'm sure this week is no exception to some interesting things going on. So tell us about it.
Yeah, we're going to blow right through because I have a lot of ground to cover this week. But I did want to start with a happy belated Father's Day wish. We had technical difficulties last week that kind of got us distracted and a little scrambling. And I forgot to wish my daddies happy Father's Day. So a very, very happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Sorry I'm a little late, but I hope it was a good one. This week, I interviewed Malcolm Fox. He's one of our Prescient interns, and he's doing some amazing things through his organization called Gratitude Chicago. So make sure you check out Malcolm, follow him. He's definitely a great, great human being and doing some really incredible things. So we're very excited to have him. And Chuck, I was super excited this week to read your posts and hear about what you're going to do for the Black Hat interviews for the USA conference that's now virtual, as well as for your law enforcement community. So I love this. Tell me more about this.
Well, I've been doing Black Hat for about 7 years, and I don't charge people because we kind of go to the show and do it as a public service. But now everything's changed. All the models are changed. I'm not traveling, right? So I'm not getting sponsored by anybody. So I said, hey, let's try and do a virtual conference for a nominal fee. And it's becoming very popular. People are signing up. And I think we might have as big a show as we usually have in person, which is about 100 plus interviews every year. So I'm real excited about that. And then I was approached by Under the Shield Foundation, which is a counseling foundation to help officers in distress. And they decided, hey, let's put out some positive stuff about police officers. Let's get out there and speak about the good things that are happening. So we're going to kind of do a virtual show at the end of July where we simply highlight and show photos people sent in, positive videos, positive messages, some interviews. I have an interview signed up for a police officer that was involved in a shooting who still feels pretty badly about it. He's going to discuss why that is. So we're really excited to get out with a positive message about this and make people understand there's two sides of the story that's going on. So we look forward to it, and thank you very much for highlighting that.
No, I'm very excited to see both of them and to hear more. So I'm super glad you're doing it. Eric Boding shared a really insightful clip from HBO's documentary, True Justice, that features some really brilliant insight from Brian Stevenson. He's an attorney that has been helping a lot of people through justice reform, and it discusses how other nations have kind of dealt with the fragmentation related to the divisive histories of their past, like we all have, and how they've made efforts and progress toward rebuilding that trust and just trying to make things right. So make sure you catch that clip, as well as, if you're interested, catch that documentary. It's a really, really good one. Craig D'Souza shared a Harvard Business Review article that compiled a collection of articles providing a starting place for companies and business leaders, as well as anyone for that matter, just to begin taking on the broader work to broaden our collective perspectives, to benefit our teams and the culture for all involved. Just giving a voice to, if we're going to actually take what we've learned recently and put it into action and make good, solid improvements, we have to walk a mile in each other's shoes. So make sure you catch that. I think those are really, really helpful, and it was really handy that it was compiled all together for us. Joshua Cohen shared a dark reading article that called attention to the flaws in some router firmware that would allow attackers to downgrade the devices to a less secure version that would make it more susceptible to being hacked or implanted with a 0-day attack code. So main takeaway from this one is know your hardware as well as your software. Check regularly for vulnerabilities, patch them when possible, and upgrade to a more secure device if it becomes necessary. Sometimes technology and hackers just get too sophisticated for a piece of equipment, and it's just time to upgrade. So keep an eye on that. James W. shared a really comprehensive master question list for COVID-19 from the Department of Homeland Security. Really, really thorough overview on this one. Offers a ton of centralized guidance for decision making or clarifying a lot of confusing information. I know we're getting a lot of different information that's conflicting. I know here in Chicago we're opening up, but still requiring masks. Places in Texas, I hear, are they've been open, but now they're going to close back down because the masks haven't been a thing. Just make sure you're following really, really trusted guidance on these things. Chris Feltso shared a story about how one businesswoman's revenge on their former employer cost them their entire business. Just insider threat is such a difficult thing to address, but it shows how important backups are, as well as monitoring employee activity and making sure your data is encrypted. If somebody wants to take away your data, if it exists someplace else or if they can't do anything with it, that's far better than just to be able to export it and then you're out of luck. So another harsh reminder for us all to be mindful of those insider threats. Bob Carver shared ZDNet's article on the Blue Leaks data breach of over 100 or 200 police departments and fusion centers. Again, digital hygiene, phishing training, data mapping, data protection, really, really important, especially when we're trying to protect everyone, including the law enforcement officers that are trying to protect us. The good ones. There are lots of good ones. Bob also shared a Board Panda article that digs deep into TikTok's invasion of privacy and PII, even leveraging insight into the user's clipboard information, the data there. Definitely want to make sure you're not using TikTok. That's why a lot of governments have banned it, and a lot of companies don't want their employees having it on any device that shares company information. So watch your data protection. Charles Erding shared Inc.com's article on Apple's announcement that they're going to now require developers to disclose exactly, specifically what information they're collecting from their app users. No more vagaries. We want to know specifically what that looks like. That's not quite an Android thing yet. I think a lot of companies are wanting to move toward that. But remember, a lot of the things that we don't pay for is because we are the commodity, and that's going to be a really difficult business model to pivot from for some companies. Banyan Risk Group shared a really great BBC article on 7 ways to stop bad information. Basics like checking your source, pausing to reflect, as well as checking individual facts and not assuming 100% truth or deception. As well as being aware when posts are overly emotional or attempting to get you all fired up. The ever-present biases that some sources or topics that it just can't help but perpetuate. So again, we have to be really cautious when we read and share information online. There's a lot of disinformation, a lot of misinformation. So let's make sure we're not sharing things that aren't accurate. Thomas O'Malley shared a Bankrate article on identity fraud with a reminder for everyone to keep your credit reports locked down or frozen. And I want to make sure that you're only opening up those credit bureaus' access to your report when you're actually seeking to take out a new line of credit, and that those aren't open for anyone to take out credit on their own. Internally, when we do executive digital protection, a lot of these things come about because people are unaware that someone's taken out loans in their name, finding out that they own assets that they did not procure. So make sure that you keep your credit locked down unless you're actively trying to use it for something. And that's what I have for you this week. I hope everyone is well. It is a gorgeous rainy day here in Chicago, so I am cuddled up inside and just hanging out, reading you all's comments and all that good stuff. So feel free to comment below with anything that comes up or anything you guys want to talk about. Other than that, I look forward to speaking with you all next week.